Deep in the heart of the African wilderness, where survival is measured in heartbeats and courage is the only currency that matters, an extraordinary rescue unfolded that would test the limits of human bravery. What you're about to witness is not just another wildlife encounter. This is the story of ordinary people who became heroes when faced with nature's most terrifying predator in action. Picture this scene for a moment. A mother lioness, the fierce protector of her pride, suddenly finds herself trapped in the deadly coils of a massive python. The constrictor's grip tightens with each passing second, cutting off her circulation and squeezing the very life from her powerful frame. Time is running out. Every moment that passes brings her closer to unconsciousness, closer to cardiac arrest, closer to death. But here's what makes this story absolutely incredible. A team of wildlife rescuers happened to be in the area when they heard the desperate roars echoing through the savannah. These weren't the confident calls of a dominant predator. These were the panicked cries of an animal fighting for its life. The rescuers knew immediately that something was terribly wrong. When they arrived at the scene, what they discovered would haunt them forever. The python, measuring nearly 20 feet in length and weighing over 200 pounds, had wrapped itself around the lioness with mechanical precision. This wasn't just any python. This was a reticulated python, one of the most powerful constrictors on the planet, capable of exerting pressures that could stop blood flow to vital organs in seconds. The lioness was already showing signs of distress. Her breathing was becoming labored. Her movements were growing weaker. The python's backward curving teeth had found their mark, holding her firmly in place while the massive coils did their deadly work. In the wild, once a python achieves this position, the outcome is almost always the same. The prey succumbs to the relentless pressure, and the predator claims its victory. But this team of heroes wasn't about to let that happen. They understood the science behind what they were witnessing. They knew that constriction doesn't kill by suffocation, as many people believe. Instead, it creates a catastrophic disruption of blood flow that can cause unconsciousness within 30 seconds and cardiac arrest shortly after. They had minutes, maybe less, to act. The lead rescuer assessed the situation with lightning speed. The python had achieved multiple coils around the lioness's torso, creating a grip that would only tighten with any struggle methods. Traditional of snake removal wouldn't work here. This required a coordinated assault on the predator using every tool at their disposal. What happened next defied every instinct of self-preservation. While most people would flee from such a scene, these heroes moved closer. They grabbed crowbars, sticks, anything they could use as weapons against the massive serpent. The python, sensing the threat, only tightened its grip on the lioness, accelerating the deadly process. The first rescuer struck the python's head with precision, trying to disorient the creature without causing it to constrict even harder. The second rescuer worked frantically to separate the coils, using leverage and brute force against a predator evolved for this exact scenario. The third team member monitored the lioness, watching for signs that they might already be too late. The python fought back with terrifying determination. Its muscular body twisted and writhed, seeking new purchase on its prey, while defending against the human attackers. This creature had been perfected by millions of years of evolution to be the ultimate constrictor, and it wasn't going to release its prize without a battle. The lioness, meanwhile, was fading fast. Her eyes were beginning to lose focus. Her breathing was becoming more and more shallow. The rescuers could see that they were running out of time. If they didn't succeed in the next few minutes, this magnificent predator would become another victim of nature's most efficient killer. But these heroes refused to give up. They had come too far to watch this mother die. The battle intensified as sweat poured down their faces. The lead rescuer knew they needed a different approach. He had seen this before in other encounters, but never with stakes this high. The python's grip was like a hydraulic press, designed by nature to be unbreakable. But every creature has a weakness, and he was determined to find it. Working in perfect synchronization, the team began a coordinated assault on multiple pressure points. One rescuer targeted the snake's head, forcing it to divide its attention between maintaining its deadly hold and defending itself. Another worked methodically along the coils, prying at each section with calculated precision. The third positioned himself near the lioness, ready to pull her free the moment an opening appeared. The python's skin glistened with moisture as its metabolism skyrocketed. This level of constriction was demanding enormous energy from the serpent, pushing its body to the absolute limit. The rescuers could see the strain in its movements, the slight tremor that suggested the snake couldn't maintain this intensity forever. Then came the breakthrough they had been fighting for. The rescuer at the python's head managed to create enough distraction that the coils loosened by just a fraction. It was all they needed. The team member positioned near the lioness immediately seized the opportunity, sliding his hands between the snake's body and the cat's ribs. But the python sensed what was happening. With lightning speed, it attempted to readjust its position, seeking to regain the crushing pressure that had nearly claimed its victim. The coils began to tighten again, threatening to undo all their progress in a single moment. The rescuers refused to let up. They had committed everything to this moment, and failure simply wasn't an option. The lead rescuer grabbed the python behind its head, using his entire body weight to control the serpent's movements. His teammates continued their assault on the coils, working with desperate efficiency as precious seconds ticked away. The lioness stirred slightly, a sign that blood flow was beginning to return to her vital organs. Her eyes flickered with renewed awareness, though she remained too weak to assist in her own rescue. The python, feeling its prey beginning to revive, made one final attempt to secure its grip. That's when the rescue took a dramatic turn. The team leader made a split-second decision that would determine whether they succeeded or failed. He positioned himself directly in front of the python's head, putting himself within striking distance of those razor-sharp teeth. It was an incredibly dangerous move, but it created the distraction his team needed. The snake, faced with multiple threats from different directions, could no longer maintain its perfect constriction technique. Its coils began to loosen as its attention became divided. The rescuers worked frantically, knowing this might be their only chance to free the lioness completely. Inch by inch, they began to separate predator from prey. The python fought against them with everything it had, but the coordinated human effort was proving too much for even this apex predator to handle. The lioness was slowly being extracted from what had seemed like an inescapable death trap. The tension in the air was electric. Every movement mattered. Every second counted. The rescuers could feel their muscles burning from the sustained effort, but they pushed through the pain. They had come too far to give up now. The mother lioness was depending on them, and they weren't about to let her down. As the final coils began to release their grip, something extraordinary happened. The lioness, sensing her freedom was within reach, summoned the last reserves of her strength for one final push towards survival. With one last coordinated effort, the rescuers pulled the exhausted lioness free from the python's deadly embrace. The massive serpent, finally defeated, retreated into the thick brush, its hunting instincts overruled by the need to survive this unexpected encounter with human determination. The lioness lay motionless for several terrifying moments, her chest barely rising and falling. Then, as if awakening from a nightmare, her eyes opened fully. Slowly, with tremendous effort, she lifted her head and looked directly at the humans who had saved her life. For a brief moment, predator and rescuer shared an understanding that transcended species. Within minutes, the magnificent cat found the strength to stand. Her movements were unsteady at first, but with each step, her natural power began to return. She paused once more to look back at her rescuers before disappearing into the wilderness, returning to her pride and her cubs, who would never know how close they came to losing their protector. This incredible rescue reminds us that courage isn't the absence of fear. It's acting despite that fear when lives hang in the balance. These heroes prove that sometimes ordinary people can achieve extraordinary things when compassion meets determination. In a world where nature's battles can seem cruel and unforgiving, human kindness became the deciding factor between life and death. The mother lioness lived to fight another day, and somewhere in the African wilderness, her story continues.